So the conversation goes, and it is using your intuition, something that the whole universe has told you, never use your intuition. Animals have it. They have hackles. As soon as they see something in danger, their hackles go up. Their intuition is telling them something is wrong. When you have a tsunami, the animals seem to know, run for the hills. But us as humans don't have that instinct. Why? Because our corporate structure, those that are really smart, the elites, have said, don't use your intuition. And it's something that they don't use. There's nobody on this planet that is using their intuition, because anybody that has a lot of money, anybody that has elites, the upper class, the leaders of the world, they've all been trained not to listen to their intuition. And that's why they train everybody else, don't listen to your intuition. Nobody on this planet is listening to their own intuition, which is why we're like killing ourselves. But it's this voice in your head that's telling you the difference between right and wrong. It's this voice in your head that tells you something that's really so wild that if you actually said it out loud, people would call you crazy. Why? Because it doesn't fit within society. It doesn't fit within this matrix that we live in. But that little voice in your head that you're ashamed to say out loud, that voice that says, I think I should be doing this, but this is too wild to even suggest out loud. People will think you're crazy. I've had those voices in my head. I knew that I had a purpose, which is this book. I knew that everything in my life had a purpose, that it was an experience I was supposed to experience, and at the end of the day, I would know what it's all about. I would have the answers to a hell of a lot of shit after it was all done. Now, all of my hell happens to be over. We're having a global experience that still is affecting me, but only is a problem if I let it be a problem. And this voice inside my head says, I'm supposed to be part of change. And that's a little wild to say out loud, because who the hell would believe that? Who am I to say that I'm an aspect of change? But I'm pretty sure there's an awful lot of other people that have that same voice inside their head that, no, I don't want to be responsible for changing a whole freaking planet. And I'm not responsible. That would be one other aspect of insanity, that if I took on all of that responsibility, that, okay, the whole planet has to change on my say-so, then that puts way too much pressure, way too much stress on me. So I ain't going to do that. I'm only going to do what I think I need to do. Share my story. Share the information that I know. What it means to everybody else is not my business. If everybody wants to create hell, that's not my business. I'm here for the ride. But as I have this conversation with my smoking addiction, I say, what the hell do you want? And it says, it wants to kill me. Give your problem what it wants. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't want to die. At the end of the day, I don't want to die. So if the problem is within me, and my problem wants to die, it's like I got a little bit of conflict going on there. So I'm going to find out a little bit more information. Why is it you want me dead? And it says, because it will end the pain. It wants to kill me so that all pain will be gone. And it's like, oh, okay, I can kind of agree with that. I kind of would like the pain to be gone. What I see being done on the planet is kind of painful. When I see children being forced into a sex trade, that's kind of painful. When I see our corporate structure create third world countries where they're starving, it's kind of painful. When I see churches asking for donations and they use film of starving people to generate as much funds as they can for their own pocketbook, and yet nobody's getting fed. The problem of hunger is not going away. That causes me some pain. When I see HARP there putting all that poison out there, it causes me pain. When I see Japan and all the suffering going on there, that causes me pain. When I see a lot of people want to help, and yet no help is actually being done, that causes me a little bit of pain. When I see leaders say that they're leaders, but yet let a corporate structure like BP Oil control their own crime scene, that causes me a little pain. When I see people suffering in the Gulf, and they're trying to rely on everything we believe is there to help us, like the government systems, like the justice systems, like nonprofits, and nobody's there. And you kind of point out to them, hey, don't put all your faith in all of these systems because you're going to be disappointed. And if BP Oil doesn't disappoint you, it'll be a hell of a lot more disappointing to find out that a nonprofit that's there raising money there to help you is not really helping you. That is more painful. When you trust in something and find out you can't trust in it, that is more painful. So, I can kind of agree with my smoking addiction. It wants me dead to end the pain. So, I don't want to die. I don't think most of us want to die. We're all trying to fight to live, not to fight to die. So, clearly, the smoking addiction basically just wants the pain to be gone. So I look at it as, what if this was one of my children? What if my children said that I just want to die because the pain is so painful? What would I teach my children? And that's where it gets a little complicated. One of the words that comes out is do or die. It's do or die time. How do you live? How do you live a life that has zero pain in it? One of the first things is quit smoking. Kind of hard when it's really painful. Every time I'm in pain, I go for that smoke. So, my motive, what I've got to do to teach my smoking addiction is how to live. How to live a life where I actually enjoy it. That's where I think all of our lesson is are you really enjoying your life? What does it take for you to enjoy your life? Are you doing what it is that you do enjoy? One thing that I've seen when I was really, really young, when I really, really, truly meant or felt the meaning of love, was prior to when I was 3 years old. Everybody was caring about me. I felt so loved when everybody was caring about me. And then I experienced nothing but abuse when my brother was born. I developed this kidney infection, which the medical world and the religious world all said, beat her. So what happened there? I clearly was jealous. I clearly didn't like somebody else getting all of the attention. I was 3. I didn't know any better. Nobody taught me any better. And that seems to be the same pattern being repeated. It seems to be that happiness is really there when you're serving somebody else. When you are making other people happy, that's where you find happiness. That's where you find love. That's where I felt love, is when everybody else cared for me. But the problem is I wasn't doing the same thing back. I was making sure everybody else in my world was making sure I was happy, which made me happy. So doesn't that mean that if I was following that example and doing everything I could to make everybody else happy, listening to whatever it is that they need, giving them whatever they need, going out of my way to make sure I made everybody in my life happy, then that would make sure everybody in the world was happy. If I could do something the way I was treated with so much love that it seems that if I want to change my world so it's not painful, I've got to make sure that I do everything I can to make everybody else feel that level of happiness, that level of love towards other people. And if everybody else was doing that, then I wouldn't have to worry about my happiness, because it would be, everybody would do that right back. I've kind of shown that example with my kids when I was raising my kids. I did everything for them to make sure that they were happy. The problem is they were all jealous the same as I was. They were all selfish and just took and sucked that love I was giving them, but didn't know how to return it. So the smoking addiction has me say do or die. So every day I get up and I try and share the experiences I had, and just sort of ask the question, are you serving other people? Are you going out into the world and making sure everybody else is happy? And if we all did that, then wouldn't you get happiness back? Wouldn't it be more important to let everybody know that you all need to serve? Not just 50% of us, not just the people pleasers, but everybody. Everybody playing the same game. That's the problem where we're at right now. It's not everybody's playing that game. Not everybody's serving other people. People that have a lot of money, you've gotten that money because people served you. You probably feel really happy. You probably feel like you've got it all. But you're not recognizing that you're not putting something back into the world. You're not loving your world back. Karma effect. It'll come back at you. It's like bad things happen to good people. If you think you're a good person, bad things are going to happen to you. And I'm not seeing anything good happen to bad people. Bad people seem to be suffering through hell just the same. And I'm seeing that a lot of people that are learning more about life are the ones that can afford to pay for it. They are the ones that can afford the books. They are the ones that can afford these counselors. They are the ones that can afford these motivational speakers. So it's not information that's free for all. It's only available to those who can afford it. But this is something that everybody needs to know, this information, rich or poor. We all need to know how to serve each other. Because I'm telling you that serving somebody else, making sure somebody else was happy, and you taught how to make everybody do the same thing, then everybody will make sure you're happy. I'll continue on another take.